Hello, it is your Astro Coach Sarah here for Wellness Astrology, this time for the moon in Libra. This is May 8th through the 10th. We are building up to a full moon in Scorpio on the 12th. And of course, we've got there's so much new energy, right? We kind of got this breath of, you either take it as a breath of fresh air or like it's a wild and crazy, like, holy shit, what's going on? This is insane. I would love to say that this moon in Libra is usually about balance and all of the things. I would love to say it's going to balance things out and calm things down, but no, it's going to oppose all of the things in Aries. And I just don't, it'll try Jupiter in Gemini, as Jupiter in Gemini is building up to a T square between the North and the South node. Many of you saw the post about people finding items in their home being undesirable. And that kind of goes back to it's the Jupiter square of the nodes, but it also goes back to the Saturn North Node Venus conjunction that we had for most of the month of April. And it was kind of like yes, it's a nice thing, but it's not the thing I need anymore. So you're trading the good for the even better or the good for the great, etc. I am here pretty shortly. I'm hoping by the 15th, but don't hold your breath. But sometime soon, before the 25th, we'll say that. I'm planning to release a 3-year outlook for your sun and rising signs. Now I have some life things happening, so I won't be able to film for a hot minute. But once I return from that, uh, we'll call it a vacation, kind of. I'm house sitting, but I'm house sitting with pugs. I'm super excited. But once I return from that, I will be filming your sun and rising signs for the next 3 years. So basically, it will cover Saturn moving through Aries along with Uranus in Gemini, Neptune in Aries, and Pluto in Aquarius. These are transits that most of us have never experienced before. Most of us have experienced Saturn in Aries. It was about 1996 to 99. So most of us have experienced that, but none of us has experienced these other three planetary transits. So I kind of want to just give you like a broad overview, but unfortunately it's going to sound really mean because it's like I got to rip the band-aid off a little bit. This energy is not to fuck around with. It's really not. You've got to get your shit together. You've got to start being the balls to the walls, taking responsibility, and doing doing your part. So um, as we move through this moon in Libra, uh, you know, because now we have Venus in Aries, and Venus is the dispositor of this moon in Libra as it's building to a moon in Scorpio, full moon in Scorpio. And Venus is in Aries. So it may be balancing in that it has you make or break situations. Um, it may be balancing in the justice aspect of things. But let me say this when I say justice, because I know that there's a lot of people who think there's a lot of unjust things happening in the world right now. And I think it's important to really pull back, because number one, we don't know everything. Number two, you've got social media that amps the shit out of everything. And number three, you've got too many polarizing. I feel like people have gotten like so opinionated that they can't see the forest for the trees. They can't zoom out and see what's going on and see a bigger, broader picture. Of what is unfolding or happening or unraveling. Now, does that mean it's gonna like go all sunshine and rainbows? No, it's not. It's obviously gonna take time. And now we have Pluto retrograde too to add to the mix of everything. And so Pluto likes to reveal dark. It likes to reveal, things, and it's in Aquarius for the people. And I know it seems like things are not for the people right now, but unfortunately, I think people are missing the plot. Like, it may not in this moment look like it's for the people because things are unraveling or things aren't going a certain sort of way. So it's not for the people because it's not supporting me people. But the problem is that you're one people in a collective of people. And so, gosh darn it, what's the best of both worlds? Captain Picard gets kidnapped by the Borg. And there is something that Riker has to be reminded of during that episode. Um, like you can't sacrifice the whole crew or the whole ship for one person, but it's Picard, so Riker's got to try, right? But it's almost like people had this idea that everything was going to be, they were going to be rescued or they were going to be saved or they were going to be whatever. That was never going to happen. And so now we're going to get all of this energy in Aries. We're about 15 or so days away from Saturn in Aries. You aren't going to get coddled anymore. And that's why I want to do the long range forecasts because you don't get to you're I feel like there's not an easy way to say it because it's like I don't want to say like people don't care about you because that is not true. I think there's a lot of heart and a lot of care and a lot of compassion amongst people in this world. But what I feel is that whatever your unique circumstances, whether it's a disability or otherwise. I'm going to use disability because that's about as safe as it gets, right? You can't really deny my disability. But, and I know there's like controversy around that. But like me being a blind person and not taking responsibility for my finances, for my housing, for my support network is not anybody else's problem. That doesn't mean that I don't deserve to be supported in the sense of people emotionally supporting me or financially supporting me. That doesn't mean that I don't deserve those things. It means that it's nobody else's responsibility to do that. And I'm taking steps to remedy that. But it's my responsibility to remedy my situation. So if you have a situation or people you know have a situation, it is their responsibility. Like, I feel like people who are unique or different thought that they could be unique and different and still find a way to be a part of the mainstream collective. When what if being unique and different meant that you were a nonconformist or a non-traditionalist or and therefore you went and did your own thing. So instead of being out in the world trying to get a job with your unique circumstance, you create your own business and do that, or you work for a small business or, whatever it is. Like, how is this making sense? Is this coming across? I'm not saying it's right or wrong to discriminate or otherwise. That is not what I am suggesting. But I think there are bigger issues in the world than people's different unique circumstances. As far as the supply chain situation, I think that's a Taurus situation. I think it just has everything to do with Taurus. It may or may not resolve by Gemini season, but I also think it's a lot of fear mongering. I'm not saying that it's not happening because I know otherwise, but I also think it has people choose that it will have people choosing to be resourceful Like if you live in an area where you are completely isolated, you have zero support, you have zero food pantry, you have zero anything. Probably if you live in the middle of nowhere, then you probably have chickens and stuff. So you probably have your own eggs, you probably have your own veggie garden. But like if you live in the city, in a city, and you're not accessing available resources, including building your own support network, like that's on you. And you may struggle to thrive for the next 3 years. So anyway, as we build, like, I could go on and on about that kind of shit, but it's not a criticism or a judgment against anybody. It's a matter of we need to re-examine how we feel like we are supposed to function in this world. Because how we thought we were supposed to function is not how we're going to need to function for at least the next 3 years. You're really going to have to step out of your comfort zone and take control and take responsibility for how you live your life. And not just you, but me and everyone. So, but as this moon moves through Libra, I would say it's going to be a little unsteady. I would say, know to pay attention to balances and things like that. I also wanted to mention too, we've got all this Aries energy, so pay attention to blood, and surgeries or cuts or getting cut. And pay attention to iron, your iron count, and how much iron you are or are not consuming. And so I've definitely heard of situations recently of people having issues with blood flow, circulation, cutting, and things like that. And so be attentive to that. And also, like I said, with Jupiter squaring the nodes, people are, noticing that like their items are just undesirable. And I could definitely talk for a long time about going down the rabbit hole of toxic household items. I fucking hate the cleaning aisle at the store. It makes me physically ill to walk down that aisle. And I usually try to avoid it, but inevitably I end up accidentally walking down it and I get pissed because it just physically makes me ill to smell all of the shit in that aisle. So, anywho, I could totally go down a tangent on that, but I'll save you that for another day. But just think about all the toxins in your home and then do your deep dive research as to what those things are doing to your body. Let's see what's up with this tarot. Ooh, the Queen of Batleth's upright. This is I don't remember her name, but Alexander's mom. Queen of Batleth's upright. Yeah, this is, I mean, we've got to start like taking a stand for ourselves, and which inherently will lead to all of us taking a stand for each other and collectively. But there's been this is not introvert isolationist energy anymore. This is, you need to step out of your comfort zone and take responsibility and take ownership. So this is not fuck around energy anymore. We are done with that. The Magician in reverse. I think it's hilarious that I chose this card because, and I knew I would today. The Magician in reverse, Geordie LaForge. I knew I would today because I found it on the floor earlier. It's not even been in the deck for who knows how long. I don't know, but I was cleaning and I found it. And so we get the Magician in reverse. So we're feeling stuck. Yes, because people are freaking out. People are in fear mode. People are in scarcity mode. People are freaking out. All of those sorts of things. Listen, it's no different. Like these product shortages, it's no different than if you go to an Arby's expecting to get a milkshake only to find out they stop serving milkshakes after 9 p.m. or their milkshake machine is broken. And seriously, that's the only reason you were going to Arby's. So you're pissed. Okay. But it's not a shortage problem. It's just that's just how it fucking goes. Okay. I'm not saying there aren't product shortages. I'm saying be diligent about getting what you need when you need it. All of those sorts of things. Let's see what's up with the Woodland Wardens deck. So anyway, be on the lookout for the next 3-year sun and rising sign forecast. I may be making changes to YouTube. I don't know. I think I've mentioned that before. It's really going to depend on how I'm recording this not at this time, but I'm recording this ahead of time. It's going to depend on how some things play out for me. How I need to make changes to my YouTube, if I need to make changes to my YouTube. But there may be some changes coming. I also have big projects in the background that I may need to devote more energy towards. And YouTube may just have to take a back seat for a minute. It's not that I don't love you guys, but I also have projects that I really want to get launched. And so in the Woodland Wardens, we have the salamander and black pepper. And this is inspiration. I like that, kind of. It's kind of I don't know. But black pepper is good. Black pepper mixed with turmeric, it activates turmeric. So if you're noticing inflammation, I think black pepper is totally appropriate. But inspiration, it's like, I've definitely covered this before, but like there's a difference between motivation and discipline. Are you inspired to be disciplined, or are you just inspired if you're motivated? Because I'm telling you right now, yes, we have forward momentum energy, but you're going to have to be now disciplined to slow yourself down and take care and all of those things. So, before it was like you needed to be disciplined to get your projects done. Now you're going to have to be disciplined to slow yourself down. So anyway, all right, that's it for this moon in Libra. Take super good care of yourself, and I will definitely keep you posted on changes, and I will talk to you guys on the next video. Take care.